Mic check, mic check. Right now, we're using my character named Constant Luna. The sound's all good. We're going to continue where we read off. Atone Syndicate. Chapter, The Wrath of God. How do I have this set up? I think it was like this. Alright. The Wrath of God. This is great. This great storm approaches. And since we didn't really have time to prepare for it, we hadn't even realized it. We hadn't even realized that if James didn't point out the fact that the sky is getting more and more dark as the days progress. This abominable storm destroys everything in its path, and amazingly, we survive. Wait, did the storm come and go that quickly? This great storm approaches, and since we didn't really have time to prepare for it, we hadn't even realized it if James didn't point out the fact that the sky is getting more and more dark as the days progress. This abominable storm destroys everything in its path, and amazingly, we survive. There were trees and houses torn down. Some places even had people no longer alive in the street. After we walked around to see what the conqueror of madness left behind, we had seen Jamie running towards us. Who is the conqueror of madness? Hey Jamie, what's wrong? James exclaims. What do you mean what's wrong? Jamie exclaims. How you use that twice? You guys all right? I ain't seen y'all in days. You acting like we seen each other every day. James replies, I'm sorry. I know you must feel awful. You must feel an awful amount of pain right now. I get tired of seeing this front they both have up. I get tired of seeing this front they both have up. So I say, hey, Miss Jamie, I think you have something you may need to tell James about. Why, I know not what you mean by that, she says nonchalantly while holding James in her hands. James' hands in hers. I mean, if you want a relationship with him, you should probably end it with whoever else you're with, I stated with an acute sense in the changed atmosphere. James pulls his hand away. What does he mean, whoever else? I don't know. I swear. She lies. It's one thing to have another boyfriend, but to lie about it is what pisses me off. Somehow Jamie suddenly grows a conscience and says, okay, there's another man, but he's not my boyfriend. James replies, then what is he? I add more suspense by exclaiming, go on, tell him. How are you in first and third person? Okay, so this story is from the perspective of Dante, I guess. Go on. Tell him. Janie says quietly, he he's my husband. James yells, what? He is my husband. Okay? James says while pacing, if you had a husband all this long, then why'd you wait this long to tell me? Janie is silent. James marches out the door. Janie says to me, Can you please talk to him for me, Dante? No. I'm sorry, but this is between you and him. I politely reject. Really? It's between them two, but you inserted your nose into their business? Really, Dante? I understand, Janie says. But how'd you know I've been married? Your lively friend, Miss Turner, of course, I replied. Oh, no. Oh, yes. I actually find her quite amusing. Tell you what, I'll find James for you. But in the meanwhile, you have to talk to your husband. Agreed? Agreed. I finally found James, spelled without a Y this time, in the front of a store. And James, spelled with a Y this time, had anger in his soul. So we walked around to have him vent. Then once he was calm and yelled for some hours, he realized he was getting the clean end of the stick. I knew it was irrelevant for the moment, but I decided to ask him, so your name, that Y in it, is that on purpose? Yeah, my mom gave me this name because she believed giving me a name like nobody else would give me a much better chance at a good life. Man, was she wrong. That sucks. No, it does not. It ain't no bad thing, James replied. This name reminds me that there is still and will always be a piece of my mama in me. The two of us venture towards home. And Janie is standing there with Janie is standing there with eyes of sadness and remorse. You said nothing, just walked past her. We both knew then that apparently we both had to keep our distance from Janie. And this coffee cake, this is worded so terribly. We both knew then. No. Apparently we both knew in that moment we had to keep our distance from Jamie and this coffee cake fellow. I have no idea how I could have corrected that. After a few weeks go past, really, it's been a week and a half and she was already slobbing on my boy. So a few weeks go past after he finds out she has a husband. I don't know what's going on. A few weeks go past. We hear Janie at the door pleading and begging for help, talking about coffee cake has been bit. Now he's sick or something. We follow Janie to wherever she's talking about. And this man that was supposed to be her husband was surely a sight to see. He was crazier than expected, accusing Janie of treating him wrongly. Janie sees that he's holding a pistol. He pulls the trigger once and it clicks on an empty chamber. Janie grabs the rifle and hopes to scare him off, but he pulls the trigger twice more. And as he's about to fire again, Janie has no choice but to shoot him. It was a lot to absorb in an instant, but the way she dragged us here, it was almost as if she came here planning to shoot him. Her trial was the same day, and her charges had been dropped. We knew that Coffee Bean had been dying. We knew that Coffee Bean dying had nothing to do with us. But we just couldn't help but feel guilty. We decided that the best course of action would be to move away again. Come to town. Sleep with somebody else's wife. Get the whole town involved in it. Blow up their situation. Get her husband killed. Leave. Hey, yo. That's the end of the chapter. Next chapter is New Beginnings. Again. Questions, comments, concerns, confusions. If there's none of that, then we'll be moving on. Atone Syndicate. The New Beginnings. Again. Janie comes running to us. Why? Why are you leaving now? James said, Dante, you tell her. Is it 'cause my husband? No, it isn't. Then what's it for? It's because we do not belong in one place. And wherever we go, death and destruction follows. So we just have to pack up and leave you all, so you can live a happy life. So you can all live a happy and forgiving life. I reply. She says, angrily, happy and forgiving? No such thing. I just shot my husband, and I loved him. I'm falling in love with James, and now you telling me that you can't stay here? I can't go with you? 'Cause you feeling guilty? No. No one else is leaving me behind. I'm going with you, she said as she entered our car. Well, your lady friend definitely has a strong head on her shoulders. Shut it, Dante. We headed north for a while until Janie told us that she wanted to see a friend named Phoebe. And she wanted to tell her story of her life. And along the way there, she told us it was, good Lord, this needs punctuation. We headed north for a while until Janie told us she wanted to see a friend named Phoebe. And she wanted to tell us the story of her life. Her being Janie, not Phoebe. And along the way there, Janie told us. It was actually quite moving, but I didn't actually care. I was just trying to start over. When we left, Stevie Okay, so we found Phoebe, and Phoebe didn't matter. We went to see Phoebe, and now we're leaving Phoebe. Okay, clearly they don't matter to Dante, who who's the protagonist, I guess. When we left Phoebe, we went a few cities over and started to get low on money. Really? Your bitch ass got low on money? Why'd you buy a house? Started to get low on money. So James decides to sell a little coke here and there to get us by. It wasn't much, but it was enough. Everything was okay until one day, James and I are traveling through a valley looking for food, and a sheriff gallops over to us on his horse, actually galloping. Okay. Hey there, partner. Now, you wouldn't happen to be aware of who that is now, would you? He said while gesturing towards James. Yes, sir. That there is James Thorne, sir. I replied. Well, sir, are you aware that this here James is a criminal? Why, sir, I had no idea. I looked at James wide-eyed as if I actually hadn't known a thing. James says, I, I didn't do... James ended abruptly. Sheriff interrupts. Now you just shut your mouth right there, boy. I'm only going to take you down to questioning. He says as he cocks his gun. I see that his gun is loaded. And I take it from his holster and I aim it at James. Hold on. James confused. Dante, what's going on? I thought we were partners. No, we were never partners. You were just an annoyance. Oh, damn. But what about all the stuff about wanting to start a new life? Was that all a lie? No, I replied. I never once lied to you. If you hadn't realized, but even after I told you about my father, you still decided to leave your guard down. My family had gone bankrupt, and the city is scrambling to find you. And you know what you did? I yelled. You went to Florida to find some bitch to fuck. Oh, damn. You are the worst kind of person, and you deserve to die. This is what I said before I took the rifle in my hand and aimed it at James. Where'd you get a rifle? You were just holding the pistol that was in the cop's holster. How'd you get the cop's gun out of his holster that he was holding the gun, pointing it? What is happening? Okay. You took the cop's gun from his holster while the cop was talking to James. You pointed the gun at James, and now you're no longer holding a pistol, but you're holding a rifle and telling James that he deserves to die. What is happening? You are the worst kind of person and you deserve to die. That is what I said before I took the rifle in my hand, aimed it at James, and shot him in the heart. Because that is where me and my family are hurting. One tear then flowed from his eye as I said, I know you used the Good Lord. One tear then flowed from his eye as I said, I know you used the cities we passed to get rid of the drugs. And you're probably wondering how I found you, right? Well, you see, my father told me there were a bunch of affiliates what? Well, you see, my father told you there were a bunch of affiliates all across New York and that they are highly skilled. Now, think about what you had to struggle through to get here. Don't you see something wrong with this? James stares at Dante silently as Dante is smiling in his face? Oh, as Dante is smiling in James's face. Okay. You were our only affiliate in America, I said. You thought if you just blended in and increased a little bit at a time, we wouldn't notice. But you were the only person here we trusted, and you betrayed us. I said to his... what? I said to him as he bleeds out. Before I left, I shot James 3 more times in the chest, then once in the wrist. I gave the sheriff his gun back, and I picked up James's hand. The sheriff said, "What? Keeping you as a souvenir?" No, oh, good lord. The sheriff said, "What? Keeping you as a souvenir?" "No," I replied. "I'm still tying up loose ends." "Oh my god, what are you doing?" I walked back to our living complex. Oh good. Oh god. Yeah, I don't want to read the rest of this. Basically, he became evil, went crazy. Mm. All right. Well, you don't gotta listen, but I'm gonna read it to completion anyway. uh, I walked back to our living complex and chopped up James's hand, then grounded it. Afterwards, I fried it, put it in a bun to feed to Janie. I woke up Janie and told her breakfast was ready. She asked almost immediately where James was. I told her James wasn't here, and I'll tell her why. But she should eat first. After eating, I told her that a county sheriff came for him, and I tried to stop him from being taken, but the sheriff didn't like that. So he shot James 4 times in the chest and once in the arm. There was nothing I could do, so I ran back here and cried. Janie was crying on my shoulder as I said quietly, "I'm sorry." Then I cut her throat with the kitchen knife in my right hand. But at least now I can actually start my life over the way I want. Okay, so this was a job from his family, one last job to get his freedom. What in the world? Why did he have to feed his hand to her? I'm saying this as if what is wrong with me? What is wrong with you? The story was so cool up till that point. Still an interesting end. Could have done without the cannibalism. Overall, interesting story. Should have probably went more in depth. don't know who Phoebe is, but that's the end. That's certainly an end. Uh, what the fuck? Uh, I hope you liked it. Not too much, or I'd be worried. Uh, I'll do something else next time. Maybe something a little more upbeat. That one's so weird. Adios.